What's the revenue share? Did they share that
Kids Go is pretty unique in the sense that Disney and the rest of the big three, Cartoon Network, Disney and Nickelodeon, they own the full chain. So at the end of the day, the IP rights, the IP right goes to Disney. So if whatever toys you sell, like Powerpuff Girls, goes to Disney. But Kids Go, I think Paul positioned it differently. It's more on a revenue sharing. So in Speedia, it's a win for them because they get to keep the IP for Boo and Me, which is their production. But it's just that Kids Go has exclusive broadcasting rights. So it's only going to be shown on Kids Go channel. But you know what revenues that they get when they sell it to other platforms, you know, that's shared.
Oh, that's shared.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if they decide to sell the toys, then it's still in Speedia's. It goes into Expedia's pocket, so you know, it's a pretty
percentage of the revenue share.
Yeah, percentage of the revenue share, and if they decide to sell the toys, then that would be because it's a co-production.
So in Expedia, I think he mentioned that they put in money also, but they didn't want to reveal.
Yeah, they didn't want to reveal how much, but I think that Kids Co put in slightly a bit more.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. That great. It gives me a chance to just talk about Creative, right, which was held now 2 weeks ago. Or it was actually,
I think it's the first Creative conference for MSC, right?
Yeah, first big one. It's pretty interesting because my kids just by coincidence got the DVD for Kung Fu Panda, you know, which is really funny. Okay, just keep watching it over and over. And John Stevenson, not the editor, but the director of Kung Fu Panda, was one of the keynote speakers. And he had already spoken about the story of Kung Fu Panda, so this was the second day of the conference. He said, let me just share with you the importance of the story, of telling the story. And he said that, you know, you've already got the best computer in the world, which is your brain. You've got the best software in the world, which is your imagination. So it's, but you've got to work on the storyline, because a strong story and compelling characters will lead you to the road of success. And he shared the story of how Walt Disney in 1933 said that Disney movies are about three things: the story, the story, the story. And he said in the same year, Walt Disney made this comment that I honestly feel that the heart and soul of our organization is the story department. And according to John, Walt Disney started the story department because he wanted to save money. Apparently, when you have a story department, because everything starts from the story, it also automatically allows you to centralize the planning of the whatever you're coming up with. So it helps them save a lot of money. So you do the storyboard, and come up with the story, then you work with the finance department and HR in terms of resources you need and all that. So it was actually a tool to for them to centralize planning and to save money. But then the story is the central of anything. And he shared another quote that a good story cannot be ruined by poor animation.
Right.
Cannot be. But neither can a poor story be made good by very good animation.
Yeah. I think, Paul Robinson also said the same thing, and he says that he's seen wonderful animation in South Korea, but he feels that some of the stuff that he's seen has no story behind it, and that's and he feels that that's probably something that's lacking in Malaysia too when it comes to storytelling.
And connecting with you, but it's brilliant that you mentioned South Korea, because just this morning, my kids were watching something on, we don't have cartoon channel, it's just a 611.
Sharia.
Yeah, Sharia. So they were showing a short clip of this cow, playing baseball, or there's a betting machine, spitting out the baseballs, and this cow was sitting in, and my two kids were just laughing themselves silly because they understand baseball. But at that conference, somebody said a lot of American animations, they have the central theme around baseball, which the rest of the world really cannot relate to unless you're in Taiwan, Korea, which is Japan.
Yeah.
So, and it struck me that you said that my kids were laughing, and I was thinking if some other children, most Malaysians wouldn't even find that funny, because what's this ball coming in and trying to hit it, right? So that's so spot on. But there was another thing that he spoke about, and this was something that's created by Jim Henson, the Muppets creator, right? I think. And he said that something called the yes session, which is, said if you've got a problem, put your best brains, in a room and keep them there for 2 hours. And he says that, and you can only say yes, you cannot say no, you don't want any negativity. And he said that I promise you that within 2 hours, you will have the answer to your problem. And I thought that was quite interesting because a lot of the people who were there were young kids, right? Either just starting out in the business or still in school, right? And for them to hear this insight from these veterans, these grizzly veterans, it's really insightful. And I just hope that it will put them on the right track at least, But it seems very commonsensical, right? The story is important, but sharing anecdotes from Walt Disney and his own experience about how is just brilliant. So we've actually got the guy from Marvel also to talk to, but I don't want to have the team, keep furiously going this way to me this week. I'll save them the editing time. So we'll just end the show, and we're really going to try our best to have our friend Ganesh, on, because he called me yesterday from the Silicon Valley before leaving, and he was just so excited, Aisha, about what's happening there. Lots to share, and really, he is now the platform for Malaysia, Malaysian entrepreneurs to reach out to the Silicon Valley. So we really got to maximize, this opportunity. But let us hear it in his own words, next week, I hope. And if he doesn't come on next week, we won't promise viewers that we're going to have him on the show, right? Okay, with that, have a great and productive week ahead with technology. Merry Christmas, and have a great year-end break, all of you. Drive safe.